What's up, guys? We're here on Living the Lines. This is episode 3. Seems crazy to me, but already, I guess we'll pick up where we left off. Last time we shot Jack's video. Jack Fiddler. Mm-hmm. We done the Choices video here at the FIFO Media Studios.
Yep.
The video's up to 7,000 views, is what you were telling me?
Yep.
Which is crazy. Y'all go check out Jack's interview. He's talking about his new guitar he got and like his single Choices that we shot the video for. It's a badass video, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Jack had some cool ideas, and it was fun to just get in there with Jack and get his stuff done and try to capture what he wanted. And I think it was way above what he thought it was going to be.
Right. Yeah.
We had him in a strait jacket.
We all was, really.
And a mask.
I wasn't expecting it to turn out what we did anyway, you know?
But it's 7,000 views. Like, it's so crazy to think about. Sure, some of those are repeat listens, but there's at least probably 5,000 different people that's seen something that we created, or was a part of. I love it for Jack. I think it's great.
Right here in this room, it was all filmed right back in the corner of this room here. It's all my Hank Jr. picture sitting on the floor because it was kind of in the way of the shot. Right. We took the Hank Jr. picture down.
Yeah, we put Jack in a makeshift jail cell, prison cell, or whatever he was in.
Insane asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was going after. That's why the straight jacket.
Yeah, go check out the Choices Jack Fiddler video. It turned out real badass, man. But since then, we've kind of had a busy week, man. We went on Sunday, down to BMG to do some more content for Dustin Spears.
Yep.
Yeah. We thought we were going to Soundstage again, but we ended up at the BMG building.
Pulled up to Soundstage.
Yeah, we were there. We were ready. We were on time. We were ready to go, and there was nobody
was like, I'm
there.
out front waiting on you to bring you up, which was kind of weird to me, too. Remember I said, I guess we're going to be upstairs at the Soundstage.
Right.
But anyways, it wound up being BMG.
Yeah, we get over. We'd never been to BMG, and BMG's like one of the highest level record companies. They're like a standalone entity. Like, they do all their own publishing, they do all their own record producing and recording and all that. And they got some of the biggest art. That Jason Aldean, Blaney Wilson, Jelly Roll, Eric Church.
A lot of them.
So many people, man. Like, this is premier, top of the line Nashville scene. And we ended up
stuff in there too.
Yeah, we were on the 3rd floor. I think it was the 3rd floor.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at the BMG building, and Dustin was cutting his final vocals for 3 songs that Jeff Huskins is producing. And Jeff he's a producer, and he's a guitar player. I think he got started with like Little Texas.
Yeah.
The band Little Texas, yeah. Which I should have dug into more to that. I'm not too familiar with that stuff. I think I know a couple of their songs, but he's producing these songs for Dustin. But Jeff is also like the main guy that does Dolby Atmos mixing.
Yeah, he's certified in it.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing with the music and the sound and stuff. And we got to hear it firsthand down there. When we was down there, he sat us down in the chair and it happened.
Yeah, Dustin, he's cutting these songs and they're getting mixed in this new, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like surround sound, I guess, but it's a new way of recording and mixing songs. And, it's not been out very long, and this Jeff Huskins guy is kind of one of the main guys that's in charge of mixing these records and this Dolby Atmos. And he's done like the Lainey Wilson stuff, all the Jelly Roll stuff, all that stuff's been mixed in this new Dolby Atmos that Dustin's getting done. And it's just cool to be in those environments and watch somebody like Jeff work, and see the process from start to finish. We're getting a real front row seat for free.
Yeah.
To
behind the scenes.
The real main way that mainstream country records are produced.
Yep.
Whether you're a fan of mainstream country or not, it's valuable information to just watch it happen.
Yeah, it is.
Be in the rooms that it's happening.
And also being musicians like ourselves and songwriters ourselves, we kind of see it differently as well. We see it in the way that, like, we know what it's like for that artist being able to do what they're doing and stuff like that, because we know the music side of it just as well. So it's not just from a You know, I feel like some people would come in that just do like video and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they know what they're there to do and they're going to do a good job and crush it. But at the same time, you know, they don't fully get the music side of it and what's really happening.
Right, and that's one of the things like with Fivefold Media that you really try to take full advantage of. Like you do everything in the world of photography and videography, but one thing that you love to pursue is like the music side of it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
going down there and
'Cause
shooting
I get it.
content for Dustin is also a great way to meet people as a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're just being in these circles and stuff.
Yep.
But because, like we've talked about before, being from an outside perspective, just being around, you know, they're more susceptible to let you into the clique and then find out you're a songwriter.
Right.
You know.
Or not ever find out at all.
Right.
Either way.
Right.
You know, I'd rather just have it where they don't even find out at all unless something's presented to me.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But just being in these environments like BMG and Soundstage, you know, I just have to feel like if you're up there with the top tier people, like top tier things are going to happen to you.
Right, exactly.
And you've notched out a way to get yourself amongst these crowds that a lot of people don't notice, and that's with the media thing, man.
Yep. That's
you
fun.
know,
that's a blast.
We've got to experience a lot of cool stuff directly related to one of our main passions, but it's just been the path getting there was not, you know, the way most people would take.
Yep. Yeah, because most people that are singer-songwriters, they're not gonna pursue it from you know, they're gonna be more pursuing their own career, and they're not gonna want to dabble in the other side from the back side of things, you know,
Right.
behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just kind of know a little bit more about it, you know, than most people that are running around with a camera.
Yeah, and content's king now. I mean, like, it's almost more valuable than the music itself.
Right.
You know, people want to see that stuff, and you giving people the opportunity to do it. Because one of Dustin's biggest assets from this experience is going to be having all this content to generate interest to the product itself.
Right. It all goes out
You know,
there.
because if he just goes in there and makes a record and just drops it, you need this backstory to build interest.
It's
yeah,
crucial.
man, it's
very crucial.
everything, man.
Not just on a big music level either. I mean, I think it's cool for anybody along their journey to be able to document at least some of what they're doing, you know, out there. And I think it's interesting.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, with Jeff, he was showing us the Dolby Atmos thing. Like you were saying, we got to sit down in the seat and really experience what that's supposed to be like. And we've kind of debated a little bit about whether we actually understand it or can hear a difference in what this Dolby Atmos is.
Right.
I don't know if maybe my ears just aren't in tune enough to hear it, but if you're somebody like Jeff Huskins, who's produced records since 1985, you may hear something completely different.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he really does.
Yeah,
because that's all he's ever known is that side of
you
know,
hear
recording the music.
Intricate little things that the average consumer.
Me personally, I couldn't really tell a big difference.
Right, that's
sound.
what we were
I mean,
saying.
It was like a beefed up surround sound to me, but to somebody like Jeff Huskins, like you said, it's going to be totally different, and they're going to hear stuff that most people don't hear.
Right.
But it's not really, you know, we talk about it being like almost like surround sound, but at the same time, you don't have to have surround sound to get the effect. That's how I kind of understand it.
Right. But yeah, I mean, we were right in the room where all this Morgan Wallen, I mean, everybody, all these records that are coming out, that's where they're all mixed and mastered at, right in that one room. You know, there is no higher level of a place to be in if you know if you're into that. And watching a dude like Jeff work is just, it was a really cool experience. And he was showing us some new stuff that I guess he writes and stuff too. He was showing some of his new stuff that he was working on. I can't remember the guy's name that he'd been writing with. He done went viral with some covers. You were telling me his name, Dan something.
Oh, Dan Finley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Finley.
Yeah, he'd been writing with with Dan,
Yeah.
and he was letting us listen to some demos and some stuff that they were just working on. And this is stuff that these are tracks that are going to eventually have pickers on them like Derek Trucks.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
You know, some high caliber
Yeah,
stuff.
he was picking his brain about some of the Derek Truck stuff.
Yeah, I was just asking him like, what's it cost to get Derek Trucks on a song? You know, because I might scrounge up some dough. You know,
Yeah.
get him to play on some of my stuff.
Yeah.
He said, well, you know, I know Susan from way back, which is Derek's wife, and he said he'd come in and done it for beer money. But I just wonder what beer money to someone like Derek Trucks is.
You never know.
It could be like $2,500, you know, or maybe more.
Definitely wasn't a case of Natty Light.
Right.
And a pack of smokes.
Right. The one thing about BMG, man, they don't have, they didn't have as much free beer as Soundstage had.
Yeah.
Which
you got to have the free beer.
We were showing up kind of ready to party again. We thought it was going to be kind of the same deal as the first time we went with Dustin, Soundstage. But BMG was way laid back. It was a Sunday, and we were the only people there, and like everybody that was
building.
Yeah, everybody they were ready to work. You know, it was just get in there and get the vocals done and knocked out, and go from there.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun down there, and then seeing like their setup down there and kind of just how the whole building's set up in general. For one, there's a lot of music memorabilia down there, and but yeah, you know, lots of writers' rooms. I mean, I think every room that I saw had a guitar in it.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about like that's where some guys that would be their corporate, their work office.
Yeah,
like they would live at like they would have like an office job, but they would show up down there and hit the second, third floor, whichever, and hit a writer's room. And there was just racks of guitars just sitting around, you know, basses, guitars, keyboards.
Nice guitars too, like
stuff.
Good stuff.
If you got something, you know, it would be very interesting to work every day in a creative environment like that. The whole, they call it cubicle country songwriting or whatever. It's like those guys that do that. They kind of get criticized for doing it, you know, like I've heard Hank Jr. say, "Oh, that ain't how we do. I'm out fishing when I write songs, and I get something in my head and I write it down." But there is something to be said for, you know, because there's some guys kicking around down there that one of their main deals is when they get new artists in that maybe has a really good voice or this, that, and the other, and they're taking a producer like Jeff who's trying to build an artist up. There's guys in there that can write really good. Right. They know the craft of writing country songs or whatever type of songs, and they're in there trying to help these newer artists write more songs.
Right.
You know, they get kind of a bad rap but I mean, those guys are just they're really good at what they do. You know, and they have the ability to take an artist and hear their story a little bit and get to know them a couple of times, and then sit down and maybe write these people a whole album. You know, that's their job.
Yeah,
is to come in. They know enough about songwriting, you know, and they've done it enough and have enough soul that they can. And I don't know. It's just interesting, to see what those opportunities that lie out there. I mean, these people, man. That Ashley Gorley guy, he's wrote hundreds of songs in Nashville.
Yeah.
And he would be in a place like that writing with artists like Morgan Wallen.
Yep, for sure.
And he probably makes millions and millions of dollars. And he's made that writing songs.
Yeah.
And writing the same
cubicles.
old song too.
Yep,
he wrote a lot of those Luke Bryan, Country Girl, Shake It For Me type stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was involved in that. And while I understand that's not country music, thinking about it from that guy's perspective, he's just a working man.
Yeah, for sure.
Just trying to make a living, and he doesn't sing.
Yeah.
He doesn't put his own stuff out. He just goes to an office building every day and writes corporate country songs and makes bank, bro.
Yeah, you know, and that's it's funny you brought that up too about it, you know, not being country music.
Right.
You know, we was talking about this last night on my TikTok with a group of people in there, and you know, to me, how I've always looked at that, like you hear some people make comments like, "Oh, George Jones rolled over in his grave when he heard, you know, when you put that out or something like that," you know, because it's not country. But my whole outlook on that really is just you know, I feel like music's always going to evolve. And,
Yeah, dude.
it's evolved from day one, no matter which genre, whether it's rap, rock,
Yeah.
country, blues. I mean, not so much the blues aspect. I'd say that the blues
Yeah,
has kind of
it
been,
is
always
the
been
blues,
solid.
yeah.
But all other genres, for the most part, they've all progressed. And music's just going to progress like that. And I feel like it's hard, for me, it's hard to classify it and say, oh, that's not country music, because really it is country music. It's just country music of this time and era that we're in, because it evolves and changes and shifts. And
There's a time and a place for everything.
oh, yeah, for sure.
And if people dig it,
Yeah,
that's all that
that's all that matters.
I've learned over my journey of being a musician. It's all subjective. What you love, somebody hates.
I just like good music.
Yeah,
in
man.
general.
And if it's working
I
and
hate
people
genres
are
myself.
interested in it, but it's as my pursuit in music, it's not for me because it's just this. It's repetitive.
Yeah,
It's a lot of the same stuff. I'm more, but I'm so far down the rabbit hole that I've just took a different path. For people that are cruising in their car and listening to country radio, it works fine.
I mean, for instance, think about bringing up that topic. Think about how many guys that are out there right now that you hear on country radio, and you turn on a radio station and listen to it, that sound exactly and look exactly like Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. That Redfern guy, I mean, I like some of his stuff. Like, some of his stuff's catchy. I don't know if you've heard it, seen him.
Yeah.
But he's
actually from right here.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's like the hairstyle and the flow and so much of it. And that's kind of part of what gives people a bad rap. There's just so many people that are just chasing whatever's in style.
Yep.
But
There's been a lot of artists that's happened with over the years,
Right.
if you look back. But anyways,
just because they blew up, they're originators of a style. And even if you're doing country rap or you're doing pop country, whatever, if that's what you feel in your soul,
rock and roll with it.
do it. I'm
Let it
here
rip.
for it.
Yeah.
But when you start
Well, have you
chasing,
living the lines?
when you start being like, I want to be this because this is what's popular. And man, I hate to say it, I might get shit for this, but that's the way I feel about Jelly Roll. I really feel like that. I feel like he done his rap thing or whatever. He's always been a Nashville native. I'm down with all that. But he kind of seen an avenue and he was like, man, let's go get this money. And I don't hate on him for that, but it's like when your art is involved, like the true people that'll ride and die for their fucking art, like they stand out. Like Upchurch, man, like he's gonna do what he does, and that's gonna be it. He don't give a fuck,
and he kills it at everything he does.
Yeah, and there's some I always said that about Ralph Stanley, is this old bluegrass guy, but he could have come to Nashville and had a regular music career, a regular country music career, but he stayed like old school mountain music his whole career. And never made any money until that old Brother Where Art Thou shit hit. He was in his 70s, and then he popped off. But like we talking about country music, and like that's not country. This is country. When you go back, it's like, well, in the 70s when Waylon and them was doing that stuff, people were looking at that going, well, that ain't country.
Oh yeah,
because it didn't sound like Hank Williams.
They done it with ever changing.
And when Hank
genres.
Williams was doing it, well, that ain't country because it don't sound like so and so.
Not genres, but eras. That's how it's went with every era. Just like when
it's
Alan
just
Jackson
taste,
and
man.
Garth Brooks and everybody came out.
Yeah, well, now that may not be country, bro. That may not be.
Right.
Garth Brooks, it may not be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about Garth Brooks' music.
That is true.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Some of it, maybe.
Maybe just much too young to feel this damn old.
Oh, that is a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, or Alabama Clay.
Yeah, my dad likes that one a lot.
I mean, those are probably my top two.
Garth gets a bad rap these days.
He does. Poor old Garth, man. He kind of made a.
You grew up more with Garth than I would have.
Hey, Garth kind of made a change in that era of music.
Oh, dude.
He changed the game. He was like the Morgan Wallen of the 90s.
Exactly.
He was Morgan Wallen of the 90s.
And kind of what I've heard a lot of people's gripe with Garth is the fact that he come in and done so much better than everybody else.
Right.
That it cut. See, like in the 70s and 80s, if you were anybody that had any artistic ability, they'd about let you make a record. Somebody would let you make a record.
Yeah.
And when Garth come in and started doing all these enormous numbers, artists were expected to do that directly.
Right.
They never got this time period of development, like artist development. And
They
ever
kinda jump
since
on that
Garth,
train,
it's
yeah.
been like that. Like they are looking for ready packages, ready to
Yep,
go out and
right
sell
now.
out stadiums. You
Yep.
know, before then, a country artist or a folk artist was not expected to do any more than sell a couple 100,000 records, which was not hard to do in those days because everybody bought records, and be able to fill up some theaters.
Yeah.
You know, some small club style theaters. You know. And then Garth is just selling out football stadiums 11 days in a row.
Yep.
You know, it was just so crazy. It was like a ripple effect that we're still not, like it's, you know, it's not settled yet.
Will it ever be settled?
No, I mean,
I'll let it
even
roll
like
down.
Morgan Wallen, you know, they're expecting people, and that's why people chase that stuff. Because, you know, if Morgan Wallen's selling 200,000 seat arenas, if you act like Morgan Wallen and you can sing halfway like Morgan Wallen, then you can at least sell out 100,000 seats. You know, I mean,
Right.
And if you stay true to your art, it's like the Jelly Roll thing. If you stay true to your art and you do Nashville kind of thug rap,
Right.
you're gonna sell out
For sure.
the pizza pub.
Yep. Yep.
But if you go get Ernest, some of the top writers in Nashville, Ashley Gorley, he's probably got some songs with Jelly Roll. I guarantee it, man. You go to BMG and you get on the third floor and you get some country songs to get
Right,
rolling.
yeah.
You can go out and have this huge mainstream career, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of people like Jelly, and he's supposed to be a real cool dude and all.
I do like his older rap stuff though, his OG stuff.
Get back
you
to
know.
the real shit, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I've always
you made a little
I've always
money.
dug his thing on that, and I like some of his new songs too. But and I actually saw him in concert. He really does put on a hell of a concert. Though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating.
He's a hell of an artist.
I'm not
whenever
trying
you
to
see him
hate.
live.
I'm just I'm just looking at it from the. But I felt the same. I love Chris Stapleton. I've felt the same way when he started putting his face on like Yeti coolers and socks and women's underwear. And, you know, it's like I get it. Doing Dodge Ram commercials, like I get you got to get your bag, man. You know, but
sure.
it's just the fact that there's very few like artists that'll just stay true to it. You know, when the money comes, it's hard to turn down.
Yep.
You know, but if you're Chris Stapleton, you got a wife and 6 kids. You kind of got to put your face on some socks, I guess.
Well, speaking about the art of it and stuff, kind of looking at the art of it from a different perspective, is kind of what we experienced this past Thursday night down there at the basement.
Yeah, man.
That's a different kind of art.
Yeah, like that's exactly what we're talking about. We went down to we ended up Thursday at Basement East shooting content for Nirvana. They're a national touring Nirvana cover band.
Yep.
And they like go for it.
Tribute band as well.
Tribute, yeah. Tribute band. But they like go for it like hardcore.
Yep.
They,
to a T.
Yeah, they dress the part, act the part, look like Kurt and Chris and Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
And they're kind of doing the same thing. You know, they're just trying to sell some shows, you know, and go out and do their thing.
Seems like they're doing a good little thing of it, you know.
Yeah.
They had a good little tour that they
It's
had.
an interesting thing to see because, you know, I've never seen a tribute band like that before. But they're like road dog musicians. And they're good pickers because, I mean, all their stuff is right there, which, I mean,
yeah.
Kurt Cobain was never noted as the greatest guitar player ever. But,
Right.
I mean, they nail it perfect. But they come from Raleigh, North Carolina, all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, and they were headed from there to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and then over into Omaha, Nebraska. Do you know how fucking far of a haul it is from Omaha, Nebraska, all the way back to Raleigh, North Carolina? Because I don't know where their gig is after that.
Omaha,
but,
Nebraska sounds far away from anything to me.
bro.
I mean, that's way out west there.
But they're out there doing their thing, man. We got backstage with them, and we wanted to do an interview, but they politely declined, you know, which is cool. We were just happy to be there.
Yep.
Got some fucking great content for them.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah. We got kind of a hookup on we got us a little plot we've been plotting on about getting back in the Basement East.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of things coming. But it was cool to catch up with them guys and to see the backstage area. It was basically like we were treated just as good as the artists were, you know, and just coming in from the media
I mean, we was
aspect
there with
again.
them pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
they invited us to come down and you know, be a part of it from the content side, and their hospitality was awesome though.
Oh yeah.
They had really good hospitality, a bunch of really respectful guys and stuff, and
Yeah, they said they met on Craigslist.
yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Craigslist was the thing back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of.
I don't know. I don't really Craigslist much.
I wonder how long they've been doing this thing.
I'm not really sure. That's questions we could have got.
I know. I wanted to ask them a bunch of questions, like just kind of find out who they were, what they, you know, their experience as musicians are, because they said they had some original stuff they were trying to work on.
Right.
But it's an odd thing going out as a band. You know, they were traveling in a Toyota pickup truck, but they're just kind of fronting and acting the part. They're doing somebody else's music. They're wearing someone else's clothes, doing someone else's image, and playing up some else's guitar parts and stuff. You know, it's like I've played in a lot of cover bands. You know, we do cover songs all the time. You know, I love cover songs, but can you imagine if we showed up at the pizza pub like dressed up like Hank Jr. and stuff? It'd be pretty
That's what I was
cool.
fixing to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to be, not if you could be, but if you had to be a tribute band, who would you be?
Man, I'm gonna have to say people are gonna hate on this. If I don't know, I would want to be in Leonard Skinner. Like if I could go back and be in any band from the day, like Leonard Skinner's my
If you
number
grow
one.
your hair out a little bit more, I mean, you would just about fit the part of Steve Gaines.
Like Talladega Nights. I want to be Leonard Skinner in the front row, hammered drunk, and I'm in an angel band with angel wings. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's just funny, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I went into it open-minded because I never seen a grunge band, and like Nirvana was huge to me in my teenage years, but I never got to experience any kind of like grunge rock bands. Like I've seen some early 2000s, you know, that mainstream rock bands and classic rock bands and stuff like that. But it was cool, and I went into it open-minded. And they really did nail it, man. They're really great at what they do. And that's another thing I wanted to ask them is just kind of figure out, are they really that passionate about the music, or did they just see an opportunity?
And
you know, like I was saying with Jelly Roll, he seen an opportunity and he took it. Right. Did they just be like, look, we can put this together and we can really make something happen?
They really seemed pretty genuine about the music and
stuff.
I mean, like the
that's
whole interview thing and them saying that the reason why they didn't want to do the interview is because they didn't want to be disrespectful to Nirvana,
right?
Because they wasn't the real Nirvana, and so you know they're totally aware of that and stuff. And I think they're pretty humble guys.
You would almost have to be that into it to pull it off, because I mean they're there on a Thursday night. It's cold as shit. There's a snowmageddon on the horizon.
On the way, it didn't turn out too bad.
We weren't expecting really nobody to be there.
Right,
we were expecting to have the whole place to shoot video.
And it really wasn't nobody there until like the last 10 or 15
minutes. It filled up though, man. Like they
came
drew a huge crowd.
Yes, and it was
received well. Everybody was doing their thing, man. And
they had a pit going.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a pit going. They was running around, bouncing around, bumping into each other.
Yeah, people seemed, you know, I kind of expected people to maybe not take it as well as they did.
Yeah.
But people seemed, you know, to really go in with an open mind. I'm like I said, I've never seen a tribute band, but I would see where some people would be like diehard fans.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
Real hard to please, especially with like a big band like that. But you got a ton of good stuff for your content.
We did.
For FIFO Media.
Yes.
You were testing out some new gear.
Mm-hmm. Had you working the other camera?
I was working the other camera. You had some new mics you were testing out?
Yeah, these mics we're actually using right now, the DJI Air Mic 2s, or just Mic 2s, not the Air. There's DJI Mic 2s. Super awesome, man. I really like them. And even down there, the audio, and I'll show you some here in a little bit when we get done, but the audio from it being so loud there was totally controlled.
Right.
I mean, I had the dB turned down on them quite a bit, like -12, you know, but it's still, like, I had really good working audio. Not that I used it, I didn't really use any of it on the content that I created. I put other stuff over it, but.
Well, I seen that you, it's one of their promo videos that you done, you caught some of the crowd noise in the video.
Oh, yeah.
Is that crowd noise from the mic that you put in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was real, it was, yeah. Yeah, that was, whenever they come out on stage
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
cheering, yeah.
Yeah, because
that was all legit.
You had a couple of them set up around, right?
Yeah.
You had one set up there by the mixing area where
Yeah.
the sound guy
Yeah,
was.
didn't really get a lot of good sound on that. I got more of my good sound from walking around with the camera, and I had a mic on me too, and just
Right.
the mic on me, just walking around, captured that good, clean audio.
Yeah.
And you know, not saying they would work in every situation, but based off of what I've seen with them so far, they're just awesome little mics and stuff. Really good.
Yeah, we get just getting out there and like, you know, just getting out there and having these opportunities to do stuff like this where you can practice and test your products that you got, your equipment, and get everything ready to
Yeah.
go. You know, because I know one of the things you like to really take a lot of pride in is the live music,
Yeah, live
capturing
music.
or just the music in
Yeah,
general.
just the music side of it in general.
Like
is
you're
good.
doing everything in the photography and videography area, but like one of the things that you really, you know, are passionate about is the music thing, the
Yeah,
music
for
side
sure.
of things.
And I think I'm just like that because
Right.
I'm a musician, songwriter, singer myself. So,
Yeah.
you know, it just hits different. But I've always said that.
And
I
you
said
know
that years
what-
ago.
What people want to see.
Right.
You know, like the videos of musicians and singers and songwriters that you watch, you know what triggers you
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
watching some of those old videos
Makes
and
a
the
huge
angles.
difference.
You know how a guy wants
Yeah.
to see himself with his guitar
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, and it does make a huge difference.
It is a huge difference.
And
on
like,
that.
if you're a musician and you're wanting content done, because you know, let's face it, a lot of you don't have time. You can't do everything. You can't play the show and shoot content.
Yep.
And you got to have the content.
Yep.
So having someone come in that already knows the deal, there's so much time that's just it's not wasted trying to, you know, decipher what you want when you like, yeah, I got it. I
Right,
know
yeah.
what you want. Let me
Yep,
take care of it.
exactly.
I've been
Well, I've said that for a long time too. That I've always enjoyed. Like when I first started, because I started out doing that back whenever I was doing my own videos.
right.
That's kind of how where the whole camera thing come in, because I had to learn how to work a camera to make videos to put on my YouTube and stuff back in the day. And then, you know, as time went on, I would get a little better camera or figure out something different, and just it's been a learning process, and it never stops the learning part of it. But yeah, just just capturing everything for everybody else is what I kind of always like doing. Anyways, when I started doing it for other people, I was like, man, I really enjoy this. I enjoy being on the other side of it for other artists, on the back side of it. And
Right.
It's fun being able to experience some of the things that we get to do with, like the Nirvana thing.
Right.
All these things that we do. We do tons of stuff all the time. But, and yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to break yourself into the music business that a lot of people wouldn't see. Because, I mean, it is part of the music business.
It is, yeah.
I've listened to people talk, and they're like, we don't see anywhere in the next decade where TikTok and Instagram Reels and all this aren't the king of the music business.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it is.
where so many of these younger kids are finding music.
Yep.
Because, I mean, where else would it be? Nobody's listening to the radio.
Yeah.
You know, they're sitting there scrolling through content all day. And if your stuff's out there, that's where your music needs to be.
Yep, for sure. It's all about
And
the
you need a
content, for
good
sure.
person that can capture that visually and get good audio too, like with the mics and stuff. Like, yeah, there are other options, and you can get if you're just doing talking videos and stuff. But if you're trying to really capture something, you need to be able to get
Yeah,
the audio
for sure.
and the video.
Yep, I agree with that. Yeah, the audio is the whole key to it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a good video out of your iPhone, you know.
Right.
But just the audio, you know, just getting that audio is what you want. But yeah, man, you got anything else?
I don't think so, man. I think we just kind of covered it all. Just letting y'all know what's up. We've been out here. It's now thawing out. It's been a deep freeze
It has.
in Middle Tennessee. We
Yeah.
got a little bit of snow, but
I love it though.
things are thawing out now. Yeah, just check out Jack Fiddler's stuff, the Choices video, filmed at 5-4 Studios.
Yep, right back here.
Check out 5-4 Media. You're everywhere.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube,
Facebook, everywhere.
everywhere.
Michael McGregor Music. Get on his TikTok lives. He's always on TikTok Live.
That's where I do all my shows at now.
Well,
On
yeah.
the Play Out, Harley.
That's a gig. You get on there. How long was you
It's
on there
fun.
last night?
Man, I was on there for about 3.5 hours last night.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably so.
Damn.
And not playing the whole time, but
Right.
you know, we just kind of talked and bullshitted around for a little bit. But yeah, it's always fun though. Yeah, come over to my TikTok live.
Yeah. It's a party
It's
over there.
always a party.
My stuff's _Alan Wayne. Of course, subscribe to the channel, Live in the Lines. We got a bunch of stuff coming. We're trying to drop a podcast every Tuesday. This is about the extent of it. We're going to have different artists on here. We're talking about our experience, what we've been up to, everything media, music, Nashville related, so
Just subscribe, leave us a comment every Tuesday.
let us know if
You can find
anybody's
us
out
here.
there. We don't expect much right now, but we're just trying to keep persistent and get this thing going, man.
Yep, y'all let us know if y'all know of any artists that that might want to be part of. Living
Yeah,
the
if you're a
Lines.
local artist and you happen upon this and you've made it this far, reach out because we will totally sit down with you.
Yep. The email is in the description below, so check out the description. You'll find the email. Shoot us an email over, and man, we'd love to have y'all on Living the Lines podcast.
Yeah, man. I think that's it, bro. Until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.
Let's roll out.
Yep.